Hey everybody, we're going to talk about chapter 9 today. So, eating for wellness, this is one of the key chapters that I think is one of the most important that we've discussed yet and that we probably will discuss. So, please bear with me. This video will be a little bit longer, but it holds so much information that is so vital to a healthy lifestyle and to losing weight if that's what you're trying to do. So, I hope that you stay on board with me and retain all this information as it is very important. So, what I have for you is we need to discuss your main food groups. So you have 6 main food groups, which is your protein, vegetables, fruit, grain, dairy, and oil. So those are your 6 main groups, and we're going to talk about each of those individually. So how many should we eat? You guys hear about your recommended amount all of the time. What the heck is a recommended amount? How do I know how much I'm eating? So your PowerPoint should display that pretty well. I hope that displays it pretty well. So for grains, you need 6 cups of grains, and those grains should at least be half whole. What I mean by that is whole grains. In the grocery store, it'll say whole grain, but a lot of times it won't be. So what I want you to do from here on out, whenever you're buying bread and you're trying to buy whole wheat, whole grain, multigrain, whatever it may be, is check on the side of that loaf of bread. It's going to have a brown square label that says 100% whole grain, and it's going to say, I think it says the USDA on it. So the USDA is saying this is 100% whole grain. We can verify that it is whole grain versus something that's saying that's whole grain, but it's actually not. A lot of companies will trick you in thinking that it's healthier when they actually add more sugar to it. So make sure you're checking that label. Make sure you're paying attention to what you're buying. So six cups of grains, 3 cups of those need to be whole grains. So just to give you an idea, about 1 cup would be a slice of bread, 1 cup would be a small tortilla, 1 cup would be half a cup of cooked rice, 1 cup of your cereal, 1 small muffin, biscuit, roll, whatever those things may be. So 1 cup equals 1 slice of bread. So if you eat a sandwich that has 2 pieces of bread on it, that's 2 cups. If you eat 2 cups of cereal, that's 2 cups. So different ways to get your grains. Most of us probably get grains throughout our day, and it's important to get grains. Whole grains, provide fiber that you can't get anywhere else. They provide macronutrients, micronutrients that you can't get anywhere else, so they're extremely important. So whenever people tell me that they've cut out carbs, I always ask why. And I always ask if you're gluten-free or if there's something that your doctor suggested that you should do to cut out carbs, because carbs are our number one energy source. So carbs are the one thing that we get energy to go through our day about. So when you cut out carbs, you're cutting out that energy source, which taps into your fat source, which is why people who are on keto lose weight really quickly, because they have depleted the normal energy source for our daily activity and caloric expenditure. And so they're cutting into their fat, which burns as energy as well. It's a very difficult process. And so they lose weight really fast because the body's trying to generate the energy to survive, to do the basic essentials, really. So I always recommend that people don't cut out carbs, because that's your energy source. If you eat good carbs, it's good for you. You're not going to gain weight with good carbs unless you're just eating an extraordinary amount of good carbs. So please don't be afraid of eating whole grains or eating something that's actually beneficial to your body. Don't think carbs are bad. Carbs are not bad. Carbs are actually very good for you, and they're a very essential part of our diet. So moving on to vegetables, it says 2.5 cups on your PowerPoint, and we'll stick with 2.5 cups, but we're moving towards about 3 cups of vegetables per day, so keep that in mind. It's anywhere between 2 to 3 cups of vegetables. Most recommend at least 3 cups of vegetables. And those vegetables should be whole. They should not be processed in any way. I always frown upon the canned vegetables simply because they're processed. They have to stay fresh somehow, correct? So think about it this way. Say I have a whole corn on the cob in my refrigerator. That whole corn on the cob is going to go bad in about a week or 2. Whereas if I have that corn in a can, that corn is going to stay, it's going to be good for years. So think about the differences between that, of what they're putting in that can to sustain that vegetable for so long versus something that comes straight off the farm and doesn't stay fresh for very long. And that's because it's not processed, which is such an important piece of all of this, of avoiding the processed components that come with fresh fruits and vegetables. So keep that in mind. If they're frozen, that's a different story. Frozen vegetables are much better for you. They're not as processed. They've got just like you would stick your vegetables in the freezer, they're just frozen, essentially. So just to give you an idea, 1 cup of vegetables, so 1 medium sweet potato or regular potato, 1 large ear of corn, 2 cups of leafy greens equals 1 cup, which really, if you think about it, is not a lot. And then 1 cup of raw or cooked vegetables, which again, kind of equates to not a lot. So think about it in terms of that. If you really want to measure it out, perfectly fine. You can use your fist, which equals a cup. A fist is always a good indicator for measurement. So try to achieve 3 cups, but 2.5 is what your PowerPoint will say. So different things for veggies, your healthiest array of veggies, some superfoods for you. So the more colorful you can get your plate, the better off you're going to be. If you have everything on your plate that is one color, odds are you're not getting the micronutrients that you really, really need, and you are not consuming the superfoods that you should, that are vital to survival. So again, the more color you can add. So things like broccoli, spinach, leafy greens, all of those are great greens. Then you have your oranges like carrots, sweet potatoes. Those are perfect. Pumpkin is a good way to go if you enjoy pumpkin. I personally have not attempted to cook pumpkin in that manner. I just carve them for fun. But I've not really done any cooking with pumpkins, so I'm not an expert in that area. Also consider things that are red, like tomatoes, apples, radishes, different things that have different colors that you can incorporate into your diet. And try, in the South, we tend to get this diet of potato, corn, bean, and then a meat, right? What color are all of those things? Basically white, right? So the less color something has, usually it means that it doesn't have as much nutritional value. So think of it in that regard of the more kind of opaque or white you get, the more of a starch, which means more sugar, which means not as beneficial carbs. So again, try to get as much color in your diet as you can, and try to look at your plate and say, okay, where can I add color? What is it that I like? Where can I substitute different things instead of it just being the same meal over and over again? So really think about your diet and adding different color to it. I think you'll find that will be very beneficial for you, and you'll probably feel a little bit better. Moving to fruit. So 2 cups of fruit is recommended. You can get more fruit than that. A lot of people have this bad idea that fruit is sugar and sugar is bad. Sugar is bad, but fruit is natural sugar. So therefore, that's your natural energy source because, again, it's sugar, right? It's the natural form of sugar. So please don't fret about that. Please eat as much fruit as you want to. It provides you with energy, vitamins, and minerals that you can't get anywhere else. I've said that a million times already, I know. But it's so important for you to understand that these things that are fresh and they're not processed come from Mother Nature, essentially. So they're coming from the ground. There's not anything added to them, and they provide sustenance that you cannot get anywhere else. So 2 cups per day. I max out on two cups of fruit per day. I know I do. So 1 medium banana is a cup. Half a grapefruit is a cup. Orange, peach, all those things are 1 cup. I do suggest that you don't get your fruit intake from, again, canned fruit, although I understand that canned fruit sometimes is the only way that you can do it. So I'm not going to say no to that, but remember the same thing from the vegetables to the fruit. And then be careful of your juice. Juice has high sugar content. Sometimes fruit's bitter. And it takes a lot of juice to make fruit juice from natural sources, so they have to add something to it. Protein, you need 5.5 ounces per day. 1 ounce is equivalent to 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 1 ounce of chicken. Usually a chicken breast is about 4 ounces, so you almost get your daily equivalent by 1 chicken breast. Then dairy, you need 3 cups per day. That's starting to linger. That's starting to waver on the dairy front. There's a lot of research out there that's questioning dairy and whether we should be consuming dairy or not. So I'm going to let you decide that for your own personal choice. You do your homework and you see what you find to be beneficial. But I will put it out there of we are the only species that drinks milk beyond infancy. So you will not find any other species on this planet that drinks dairy beyond infancy. So I don't think our bodies are meant to digest milk in that capacity. I think milk served its purpose in infancy when you're growing and you need those minerals and you need that sustenance for your body production. But now that you're fully grown and we have a full digestive system that can break down different components, I think it's vital for you as an individual who can make your own choices to assess whether that is the most beneficial way for you to enhance your nutrition. So again, I'm leaving that up to you. I'm just providing you with the information. If you love dairy and you don't have any reaction to it, good for you. That's awesome. I hope it's providing you benefit. If you choose to drink almond milk or soy milk or whatever it is, I think that might be a good option as well. I think that might be the better option. But again, I'm leaving that completely up to you, your choice, your perception on your nutritional intake. So 3 cups is the recommended amount. Oil is not bad. We need 6 teaspoons per day. We overarch that by a grand proportion. So oils, we do need, our body produces oil. So it's not bad for us to have oil. Make sure it's olive oil, avocado oil, or coconut oil. Anything else is typically pretty harmful. Why is skipping breakfast bad? So in your PowerPoint, it talks about breakfast. Breakfast is the number one important thing in your day. If you think about it this way, if you skip breakfast, how hungry are you at lunch? You were starving, so then at that point you grab anything and everything that you should in a proportion that you should not eat it in, and you feel horrible afterwards. If you eat breakfast, you save yourself that misery and you save yourself that consumption. It also is a perfect boost to your metabolism. If you wait and eat later on in the day, your metabolism slows down and you'll find that you don't have as much energy throughout the day as well. So even if it's a little something, I understand that not everybody's a breakfast person like I am. I love breakfast. I hate skipping breakfast. Just eat a little something like a granola bar, a banana, a protein shake, maybe. Whatever works best for you, but please do not skip breakfast. Please, please, please. It hurts your metabolism. It hurts your nutritional value. It hurts anything and everything that you can think of. So I implore you and I beg you, please, please, please consume breakfast and make sure that it's something that has protein, has fiber, that will boost you and get you throughout your day. Recommended diet. So I included these on your PowerPoint. So you have 2 different diets. The DASH diet is the dietary approaches to stop hypertension. So the DASH diet is completely designed for people with high blood pressure. So it is intended for high blood pressure and nothing else. It cuts out sodium, it cuts out red meat, it cuts out sweets, and that's to prevent clogged arteries, essentially. So sodium increases our blood pressure. We retain more water, which again increases our blood pressure, which is the natural point of that, of cutting things out that will increase our blood pressure. The Mediterranean diet is a very natural diet. It's actually probably what we should be consuming anyways. So the Mediterranean diet includes a lot of fish, a lot of fruits, vegetables. It includes olive oil and natural sources. Again, it should probably be what our diet looks like anyways. It's a very plant-based diet that's natural. Fast food choices. If you eat fast food, which again, I understand everyone's busy. I've done it before. I do it. Try and choose healthier options. So instead of fried chicken, go with grilled chicken. Instead of fries, go with fruit. Not always the best option. But if you choose to eat fast food, please try to make those beneficial choices. The salad is not going to always be the healthiest option. Sometimes the salads, if you'll look at some places now put up the calorie count or the nutritional value. So check out those calories on those salads. And make sure that you understand what's being put in those salads, because sometimes they're putting They're putting the little tortilla strips in there. They're putting bacon. They're putting chicken and the added of your salad dressing. So make sure you're aware. Sometimes getting the kids meal is a whole lot better of an option than trying to consume that salad that's dumped in tortilla strips and ranch. So just minimizing your portions or choosing grilled chicken and fruit over fried chicken and fries is a much better alternative, as well as getting water versus sweet tea. Let's see what else we have. Freshman 15, that is a myth. That is not actual thing. Freshmen gain about 2 to 5 pounds on average. I know that you see people everywhere that have saying I've gained 10 pounds, but that is not the truth. It's actually a myth. Let's see. And just to get to the very end of your PowerPoint, so eating disorders, you have multiple eating disorders. Bulimia is the binge and purge disorder, so you will consume maybe more than the amount that you should, and then you go purge it, whether that's with a laxative or throwing up, sticking your finger down your throat, going and running 20 miles, whatever it may be that you feel guilty for eating whatever it is, and you already have that preconceived notion that you are going to get rid of it before you eat it. So binge and purge is bulimia. Anorexia is where you just don't eat. Anorexia is the fear of gaining weight, so you eat very minimal amounts. If anything at all, you skip meals a whole lot. And you can tell people who have eating disorders a lot of times their hair will start falling out, their BMI body fat percentage will be extremely low. They'll look extremely tired all the time because they don't have the energy source to continue throughout their lifestyle. If they have bulimia, then you will notice that their teeth are probably yellow and starting to decay because of the acid that they're throwing up, if they are choosing to throw up. And lots of different things. So you'll probably notice people who have eating disorders farther down the road. That eating disorder does not occur overnight. They are mental health issues that people fight with for the rest of their lives, that they have to go to treatment. It's not just oh, I think I'm fat. It is a constant battle every single day to fight for their lives. So please, if you do know somebody that has an eating disorder, maybe you have an eating disorder or someone struggling with that, please try to empathize with them versus putting them down and saying you're not fat. I don't know why you think you're fat. That's stupid. I really hope that you can encourage those people and try to get them on the right path, or help them get to a therapist, because that's the most rewarding thing that they can do. You also have binge eating disorder, where people just binge and they eat and they eat and they eat, and usually this is due to stress, so that's associated with stress. So those are the main things that I want you to know about the superfoods. I highly recommend that you look up superfoods. Your superfoods are going to be something like spinach, sweet potatoes, black beans, all those things that have significant color that are extremely beneficial for you, and they do provide a whole slew of rewards in terms of nutrition. So I hope this has been rewarding for you. If you have any questions about diets or exercise or weight loss, please reach out to me individually, and I will certainly help you get on the right path if you're not there, or help guide you down the path that you're already on. If you have keto questions for me, please reach out. I do have a lot of background on keto, and I am very knowledgeable about that. Any other diets that you have questions about, please let me know. Intermittent fasting, South Beach diet, or Weight Watchers, please reach out. Again, I'm here to help you, and I really want to give you as much knowledge as you can, or as I can, if you have those individual questions. And we will be continuing next week, the last week of class, on chronic disease.